The life I had built with Clara felt like a fortress. 10 years of marriage, 2 beautiful kids, and a home filled with laughter, or so I thought. I was a software engineer, often lost in lines of code, but always believing our foundation was solid. Clara was a freelance graphic designer, vibrant and full of life, the perfect contrast to my more reserved nature. We were, in my eyes, the perfect team. We had our routines, our inside jokes, our shared dreams for the future. I never once questioned her love or her loyalty. Every evening she'd greet me with a warm smile. Every weekend was a flurry of family activities. Life was good. Life was stable. I was content, blissfully unaware of the cracks forming just beneath the surface. The first hint of trouble was so subtle I almost missed it. Clara started spending more time on her phone, her fingers flying across the screen. When I'd ask who she was texting, she'd just wave it off with a smile, saying it was a new client or an old college friend. I didn't push it. Trust was the cornerstone of our marriage, and I trusted her completely. Then came the late nights. Her design projects, she explained, were becoming more demanding. She started working from a co-working space downtown a few evenings a week, needing a change of scenery to get her creative juices flowing. It made sense. I'd handle the kids' bedtime routine, feeling a little proud of my superwife, juggling a thriving career and our family. I'd kiss her goodbye as she left, smelling of a different perfume, a new one she said she was trying out, even complimented her on it. A few weeks turned into a few months. The late nights became more frequent. Our conversations grew shorter, more perfunctory. The easy laughter that used to fill our home was replaced by a quiet tension I couldn't quite name. I started to feel a growing unease, a cold, not tightening in my stomach. I tried to talk to her about it one night, suggesting we take a weekend trip, just the two of us. She agreed, but without her usual enthusiasm. Her eyes seemed distant, like she was looking right through me. I told myself I was being paranoid, that the stress of my own job was making me imagine things. I wanted to believe everything was fine. I needed to believe it. The night everything shattered was a Thursday. Clara was supposedly at her co-working space finishing a big project. I had put the kids to bed and was tidying up the kitchen when my phone buzzed. It was an email notification, but it was for Clara's account, which was surprisingly still logged in on our shared family tablet. Usually I'd ignore it, but the subject line caught my eye. Tonight was amazing. Curiosity, a dangerous and unfamiliar feeling, got the better of me. My hand trembled as I opened it. The email wasn't from a client. It was from a man named Julian, and the content. It wasn't about graphic design. It was intimate, filled with shared memories of their evening, compliments about her dress, her laugh, a final line that made my blood run cold. "Can T wait to have you all to myself again? Forget him, Clara. You and I are the real deal." My world tilted on its axis. I read the email again, and then a third time, hoping my eyes were deceiving me. But the words were there, stark and undeniable. I scrolled through the thread, a whole history of their affair laid bare. Secret meetings, shared jokes that weren't ours, promises of a future that didn't include me or our children. It felt like a physical blow. I stumbled back, leaning against the counter for support, the tablet slipping from my numb fingers and clattering onto the floor. The sound echoed in the silent house, a sharp, cracking noise that mirrored the breaking of my heart. I couldn't breathe. The fortress I had so carefully built was nothing but a house of cards, and a single email was the gust of wind that brought it all down. I didn't know what to do. My first instinct was to smash something, to scream, to let out the rage and pain that were consuming me. But I looked towards the hallway, where my kids were sleeping peacefully, and I knew I couldn't. I picked up the tablet, my mind racing. Should I confront her the moment she walked in? Should I pack a bag and leave? For hours, I just sat in the dark, the words from the email burning behind my eyes. Every happy memory with Clara was now tainted. Every "I love you" she ever said now felt like a lie. Who was this woman I had shared my life with? Who was the stranger who would soon walk through the door? Around midnight, I heard her key in the lock. The door opened, and she stepped inside, humming a little tune. She looked beautiful, flushed and happy. The sight of her, so carefree, ignited a fresh wave of anger. She saw me sitting in the dark and jumped. "Mark, you scared me. Why are the lights off?" Her voice was light, but I could hear the slight waver in it. I didn't say anything. I just stood up and walked over to the tablet, which was now sitting on the dining table. The screen lit up with her betrayal. I pointed to it. "Explain this, Clara." The color drained from her face. She looked from the tablet to me, her mouth opening and closing but no words coming out. The silence stretched on, thick with unspoken truths and shattered trust. Finally, she whispered, "Mark, I can explain." But what was there to explain? The proof was right there. The excuses started pouring out. She was lonely. I was always working. She felt unseen. She met Julian at a gallery opening. He was an artist, and he just got her. Her words were a blur of justifications that did nothing to soothe the gaping wound in my chest. Each word was another betrayal, another shovel of dirt on the grave of our marriage. I listened without interruption, my emotions a chaotic storm of fury, sorrow, and disbelief. When she was finally done, her voice hoarse from crying, I spoke, my own voice ear-fidged and unfamiliar. "Was any of it real, Clara? The last 10 years?" She started to cry harder, saying, of course it was, that she still loved me. But her love was a poisoned chalice. How could she love me and do this? How could she look our children in the eye every day knowing she was living a double life? That night, we didn't sleep. We talked, we argued, we cried. By sunrise, our home felt like a war zone, littered with the wreckage of our past. In the days that followed, I moved in a fog. We went through the motions for the kids, but the air was heavy with what was unsaid. I couldn't look at her without seeing her with him. I couldn't touch her without feeling revulsion. The trust was gone, completely and irrevocably shattered. I realized that a marriage without trust is just an empty house. After weeks of agonizing deliberation and therapy sessions that felt more like autopsies of our dead relationship, I made the hardest decision of my life. I told Clara I wanted a divorce. It wasn't about revenge. It was about survival. I couldn't live with the ghost of her affair haunting our home forever. It was the end of our story, the end of us. And while the pain was immense, it was also the beginning of a long, difficult road to rebuilding my life, piece by painful piece, for myself and for my children. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been through something similar, know that you're not alone, and that healing, though slow, is possible. Please subscribe for more stories about navigating life's toughest challenges.